should be live and up and running, I hope. I'll just make sure and just see that it's catching up. Looks like it is. I'll just double check. Got a little iPad off here to the side just to see if it is coming up. Good. Looks like it is live. Yep, looks like it is. Awesome. Hey guys. Thought I would do a late night chat in Australia. It's about 10 p.m. at the moment. I'm just double checking that it's working. Where's the... If anyone can see it working, just let me know. Hello. Something must be working. Hello from Kuwait. Okay, so if that's the case, I should be... Can everyone see me okay? Yep. It's working. We're watching. Awesome. It's just not working on my end, as in I can't see it working through the actual YouTube itself. Well, thanks for popping in. It's late at night here. It's 10 p.m. I think in most of the other parts of the world it's early morning in the US, and it's about midday in the UK and Europe and so forth. Or maybe it's a little bit more. Maybe Methanoid can let me know. Awesome. Yeah, so I didn't have a video planned for tomorrow because I've been so busy with my actual day job. So I thought I will do a little impromptu live chat just to let everyone know where we're at. Yeah, so 1 p.m. in the UK. That's awesome. Wow, there's heaps of people here. That's cool. Awesome. So, well, one of the first things I was going to say is that the last video that I did was really, really interesting. It was getting Netflix working on the Raspberry Pi, and it was so simple to do and only took 2 lines of code and it worked. And it's probably one of my most popular videos that I've done yet. So if you haven't checked it out, you should have a look at it. What else have I been up to? I am tired. I have also just launched my Patreon campaign, which thank you, Methanoid. I saw that you had become one of my patrons, so that was great. It's going to be one of those things where I use it to ETA Prime. Yeah, it was good that he credited me. I'm going to try and use Patreon as a way of expanding the channel into the areas that everyone wants, and everyone wants like tutorials and so forth and information on how to do things, and just digging up things that people haven't really done before. And that's again another reason why I'm doing this live chat, because I want to throw some polls in there and just see what people think, what they are really looking for, and yeah, it's going to help me to put the right sort of stuff out there. So in saying that, that's what Patreon is for. Like, it's not, seriously, I don't want to earn money off Patreon. I want to use it to grow it to a point where, yeah, exactly, $1 a month, and that's nothing. Yeah, thanks. It's really to, yeah, just get the help that I need to keep everything moving smoothly. 3 p.m. in Kuwait, cool. Yeah, I think this is a good time, because I think doing it at 6 a.m. people are in, sort of in bed and all that sort of thing, whereas now, at least Europe and US and Philippines and so forth, they can all get on there and, yeah, actually see. So anyway, yeah, that's what Patreon is going to be about. It's about making the channel bigger, making the content better, which I think I've been doing with the videos. Like I've been putting little skits in the start of them, and just to try and liven up a little bit so it's not as boring. Yeah, so anyway, that's Patreon. If you do want to, you can. You don't have to. It's just one of those things that it's there. You only have to throw in $1 or whatever a month. If you can't afford $1 a month, that's completely understandable. We're all struggling. I know what it's like. 10 p.m. in Melbourne, awesome. So yeah, it's not something that you need to do. If you can share my videos, that's the biggest help that I can ask for, because it means more people can see what I'm doing, and you do have to. I'm not sure what you mean. I'll wait for your response and I'll see what you mean. So yeah, it's just one of those things so I can keep everything moving and so forth. So anyway, enough about that, because I'm not one to ask for things, but I've also, if people are looking for written tutorials based on any of the videos that I'm doing, join Patreon, yeah. If anyone's looking for written tutorials of anything that I do on the channel, you can check it out on my website. A lot of people may not be aware of it, but I've got TechWizTime.com. I try and get every video that I have up as a written tutorial. Yeah, I do have to pay $1 a month. And I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so basically any of the tutorials that I'm doing on the channel, I am having them written up on the website, so that way you can follow along, especially for that last one that I did, which was the torrent-based one. It was a 25-minute video. There was so many things. There was so many things on there that had or could be done, like setting up VPN, setting up Deluge, setting up Samba shares and so forth, that the video wasn't the best format for it. However, it just showed people what is possible. Whereas over on the website, it's all written out there. You can just go through and follow the tutorial step by step. So if written tutorials are more your thing, then you can check it out on the TechWizTime website. So yeah, and there's also a notifications section that I've set up on there. It'll ask you to, if you want to get notified if you're using Chrome or Firefox. So if you choose that, whenever I do write up a new tutorial, you'll actually get a notification in your browser. So that's something else that I've set up there as well. Looking forward to the NVIDIA Shield videos. Yes, so am I. Hello from Brazil. So yeah, well, that's the next topic I was actually going to talk about, was the NVIDIA Shield. I just got it in the mail today from Amazon. So that's him there. That's it in the background there. I've had to play around with it, and it's it's a really, really nice device. It's definitely, I'm comparing it to the Raspberry Pi being your first car that you love, even though it's got, rust in the floors and all that sort of thing. Not that a Raspberry Pi is like that, but it doesn't do everything. So for a $35 computer, it is just so awesome. But then you've got the NVIDIA Shield, and you can't really compare it to a Raspberry Pi, because the NVIDIA Shield is just, it just is very, very smooth and runs things really, really nicely. I've already set up VPN on it, and it works really well. I've run through some PSP games, and they work really well. I've set up network shares, that works really well. Netflix, Kodi, Plex, everything works really, really nicely. So I can't wait to actually get some of those tutorials out to you guys. One of the things I'm going to try, and no, it won't let me. I was going to say there are some cards up in the top right hand corner in regards to polls. I don't know if show you videos on should buy a Pi 3. They are awesome devices, the Raspberry Pis. If you do see the cards up in the top right hand corner, they will allow you to vote on some of the things that I'm asking about, such as what you like from reviews, what you like from videos in general, the ones that you watch on YouTube, not just mine, as well as what else was there? What things you can help. There we go. Help me help you is basically what videos I've got planned over the next couple of weeks. There's one in there, PF Sense, Synology, NAS, again with virtual machines. So one of the beauties of the Synology NAS that I've got there is that it allows for you to run virtual machines on it, which is something that a lot of NASs out there, or the packaged up NASs, don't let you do. So this is one of the things that I was really excited about, and I can't wait to actually make a video on that. So I'm planning it out, and I just want to make it perfect before I release it, because I just want to make it a really, really nice video for you guys. Looks like the 8-bit Do controllers in the background. Yes, they are. I've got this one here, which is the NES 30, and that one there is very interesting. It's going to be actually one of the first review videos that I do. It's one of the things that I've got written down that I was going to talk about. Is I want to look at doing reviews, but I don't want to look at doing there's a lot of people out there that do reviews, and I don't want to be just another one of those tech reviewers. I want to basically just say, okay, the too long didn't watch part of it will be at the start. So basically I'll tell you straight up, preview for you guys anyway, I love this controller for SNES and down. Anything above, because it doesn't have the analog sticks, it's not that good. But in regards to, basically the only downfall I think is the L and R buttons on the top, and I'll explain it a little bit more in my review. But apart from that, it's a really awesome solid controller. So that's one of the things that I will be reviewing. So instead of being just normal, tech review, this is great, this is great, this is not, I want to really figure out, okay, what people want to hear from a review, and not just give it a glassy, it's awesome, it's so cool, and all that sort of thing. I want it to be something that you can go, okay, if I'm looking for retro gaming and I'm looking for SNES era or earlier, then that's going to be the perfect controller. But if I'm looking for PSP games, Dreamcast, or N64 for the ones that do run on the Raspberry Pi, it's not a good controller. It will work for a lot of games, but it will work for some games, but a lot of games require the analog stick, so there's no point in cheaping out and going for one of those. You're better off getting like an Xbox One Bluetooth controller as an example. External hard drive via USB. That makes this still working great, not one problem. I can't believe it took so long for someone to develop it. Like, I know that there were a lot of people out there that had Netflix sort of running, but the guy that did it, their GitHub page, they'd pre-compiled Chromium into making it run with the DRM, and it just runs so nice. And I've had people have some issues with it, but other people have they've been flying through Netflix. I got through 2 seasons of Rick and Morty, and it only hiccuped once or twice. But once I went back and actually changed the GPU memory, so I changed it from 64 megabytes, which was the default for Raspbian. I changed that to 128, and after that, had no problems whatsoever. So it is a really, really awesome method. Sorry, just reading the comment. PC hard drive on my Pi. Yeah, you can, but it really depends. Like if it's an external USB case, then you'll probably need a Y splitter cable. I think someone was mentioning it there. Purely because powering it straight off the Pi, you can do it, but it takes a lot of power away. So you're better off powering it separately, so that way you're not degrading the performance of the Raspberry Pi itself. So, yeah, 3 local flexes. It's one of the things that I am actually thinking about or trying to do is using that method, having it running within either RetroPie or Kodi. So if that can happen, I think Netflix on the Raspberry Pi is pretty much complete. Like having it running inside of Kodi would be the ultimate. And it can be done, I'm sure. Yes, Sydney. What else was there? Yeah, so basically that's where I am with the reviews part of it anyway. Going back to the controller. You can tell it's late because I'm tired and I'm losing my place very, very easily, especially when I'm looking at the comments coming through. What else is there? There was, so upcoming videos. A couple of the videos that I've been doing recently have been to do with NAS and clusters. The other thing, which I'll show you here. So this here was the Bitscope blade, which I've still got all set up. I've got a project that I'm working on, which is two actually. One is Boink, which is basically it's clustered computing, but it's large-scale distributed computing. That's what I'm trying to say. So things like searching for aliens and so forth, cancer. What will happen is those companies that are running the services like SETI and so forth will send you a small part of data which your Raspberry Pis or whatever computers you're using will break down and then send them back the results. So it's sort of like a huge supercomputer based all around the world. So that's what I want to try and do with the Boink cluster. But with the cluster, I really want to develop it into a web server. So basically, inside there are 4 Pis and then the switch. So what I want to do is I want to have one Pi doing one part of the web server, another Pi doing something else, and so forth. So as an example, one of these could be a Plex media server. So that way it's got the most power that it can. One can be a cloud server, so something that holds all your photos and data and so forth. The other one here could be a website that you're hosting, so you could create your own WordPress website and serve it to the rest of the world. And the other one here could be, I'm not 100% sure on where I want to go with them all yet, but that's a rough idea of what I want to do with this in the end, is create it into a little rack-mounted web server. So that is the ultimate goal. But in saying that, if you guys have any ideas on things with a cluster that you'd like to see, like I know the SETI projects and all that sort of thing is probably one of the highest things, but I think a web server is an interesting idea if that's what you're into. I don't think it could be used for, say, for example, retro gaming. Someone asked about that. It's not really meant for that. It's meant for handling a lot of data or handling a lot of operations. So it's not going to run, it's not going to make Nintendo 64 games run any faster or anything like that. But that's where the cluster project is anyway. Mate, you are wrecked. I am tired. I've been up since 6 a.m, so it's 20 past 10 here, and I'm struggling with my words. But that's what you get when you run out of time and you don't have that video made for tomorrow. And I'd rather do something than nothing. That's my motto. So yeah, that's the cluster project. Like I said, I've also got the Synology NAS with the virtual machines. The reason that that's possible, to explain a little bit further, is that the Synology NASs, the Plus models, are x86. So if you think of Raspberry Pi, they're an ARM-based operating system. An ARM-based CPU, whereas the x86 is your normal PCs. So that's where you can actually run, say, a Windows virtual machine on those, whereas other NASs are generally ARM-based because they're low power, they don't require a lot of CPU cycles or anything like that, because mainly what they're doing is storing data. So that's why I'm really excited about this virtual machine video that I've got upcoming. But again, I'm still fleshing it out. I want to make sure that it's exactly right. I'm going to start it out with Ubuntu first, but something that I am looking at doing is actually throwing Windows 10 on there as well, just so I've got an environment where I've got Linux and Windows on the same NAS, just as something that I really want to do. LOL, my mum was trying to give me $10 on Patreon, but sadly Patreon won't accept her credit card. Awesome. So yeah, apart from that, that's where everything is at the moment. I'm really trying to get ahead with the videos. I think if I can get a plan, if I can get people to check out the polls that I've got up in the cards and give me a rough idea of what they're wanting. I know the channel is tech-based and it's tutorial-based, and I think that's where it's at. It's not really soldering and all that sort of thing in projects. I think that's something like Don over on Nova Spirit. That's his field. He is great with projects. He's thrown a Raspberry Pi into a projector, and that was fantastic. That's more his domain, whereas my sort of domain is more the software, getting things to work, figuring out, okay, is this possible or isn't it? Yeah, the cards aren't shown, but they could be ad block. Yeah, to be honest, I've never thrown cards on a live stream before, but they're definitely on there. I'm hoping that they just show up. Even if it's after this video, if you can stick around and check out the cards up the top, add stream info. No, I can't see anything there. I'll leave it until the end, but if you can come back and actually vote on a few of the things there, it'll help me figure it out. Next time I'll be more organised. No, it's me, I'm stupid. Good. But yeah, that'll give me a really good idea of what everyone out there is looking for. I think that's one of the hardest things with YouTube, is that you think you're doing the right thing, but then you'll make a video and it's like, oh, that wasn't so good. Whereas like there are people out there in the community like Methanoid, who you'll go out there and you'll say, oh yeah, that wasn't your normal quality, and that makes me think, oh okay, that's not a good video. And that's what I need, is I need people to say good. I need people to say, yeah, that was a good video, but I don't feel it was your best or something like that. Call me out on it. I don't mind. I'd rather be called out and create something really cool than just create an average video. And that's what tonight would have been. If I hadn't sat down tonight and chatted with everyone, it would have been a 2-minute video that was just how to do this. And I don't want to do those videos. I'm not passionate about them. I'm passionate about figuring out problems, coming up with solutions and things that people are going to use. So that's for me. You can do those, but they're mainly software based, but it can be both if you want. To me, I like both, just extremely enjoy it. Thanks. Wait, I tried the one connecting a Raspberry Pi to the projector. It worked. My friend just bought a HDMI to VGA and his Pi with a projector. It's such the projectors are so cheap that you can get from out of Hong Kong and China, that throwing a Raspberry Pi in them just adds that extra functionality, and it's such a cool little project, and yeah, he did such a great job on that video, and that's why it's so popular. Constructive criticism, not just criticism. Yes, exactly. Yeah, make it constructive. What's something that I did recently? Oh, one of the ones that you called me out on, Meth, was I was doing just how to install on a Raspberry Pi, and basically it was throwing an image into Etcher, putting it onto a micro SD card, and that was it. But it was for a whole range of different videos. They were called 2 Minute Tuesday. It didn't work because it was just too simplified. There wasn't enough content there. There was no value. It was only for people that would really have trouble just writing an image to a micro SD card. Whereas setting up a torrent box, as an example, that requires a lot of steps, and it requires a lot of knowledge about, setting up OpenVPN, setting up Deluge, making Deluge work through the web-based interface, and the Samba sharing as well, and the USB hard drive, like setting up a USB hard drive that you'll be able to write to via the Raspberry Pi. That's really important. So all those steps there made the video better because it was so in depth, and you can take a lot away from it. So there was a lot of value in there. That's what they say. Now I'm embarrassed. No, don't be embarrassed, man. That's why I like making these videos, because people call me out on it, and it's like, I feel like, yeah, that's right. It's not my best work. And it's like when you submit something as an assignment or something like that when you were going to school, and it's like, it wasn't my best work. Yeah, some people will say that, and it's like, yeah, but it was really good. They spent heaps of time on it. But for myself, I might have, scribbled something on paper before the class, and it's like, here you go. And yeah, that's definitely not good enough. So that's what those videos were. They were just a quick way of getting things out there, and that's not what I want this to be about. I want it to be about finding solutions to problems that you didn't even know that was a problem. That's pretty much it. Like Netflix, a lot of people out there were like, yeah, you just can't get Netflix to run on a Raspberry Pi. But I did the research, found that GitHub page, and it worked. So yeah, that's what I think this is more about. It's about problems and solutions. So yeah, if I don't do that, then yeah, they call me weird at school because they think tech is weird. I'm 11 and I know how to build a PC, and they say it's stupid. Seriously, tech is... When I was 5 years old, no, not even 5, I would have been 4 or 3, my father got an Apple II. It was the first computer that he'd ever owned, and that thing I fell in love with. I still remember it as a child, how awesome like that green screen was, and being able to type basic code and all that sort of thing. All the way through school, I remember coding from these books that you'd get from the library. They had the code all written out there. You just have to write it into the computer and it would make it work. And making something out of nothing is being creative, and I think that's one of the things that the people that don't understand it, they're not that creative. So that's how I look at tech, is that it's a creative field. You're always looking for solutions to problems. PCs break down all the time. I remember my first PC, I touched the power supply and I threw myself across the room. I knew never to do that again, but I learnt so much from pulling apart that computer and putting it back together again, that now, like, technology today is just so much simpler. Whereas back, it would have been 20 years ago. Back 20 years ago, the technology was still ISA cards and all that sort of thing. Even before that, it would have been even harder to put a computer together. So, knowing how to build it is a very handy skill, knowing how to build a PC, because it just means, like, sometimes you walk into places and you can see people struggling with the computer, and you know, oh, all it needs is a quick reboot and it will fix it. And yeah, it always makes me think that it should be one of those core things in school, and that's why I like the idea that in the US and even in Australia they've got the STEM or the STEAM projects for kids, and that is one of the best things. I wish when I was a kid they had pushed computers more in school. They were starting to, but they also had typewriter classes, so yeah, that makes me feel really old. I think people would agree that you don't need a scheduled video, but more just take your time and relax, and content with flow. Yeah, I think so too. I like the idea of maybe not even having a day, like saying 2 videos a week. Then I don't feel stressed and think, oh, I've got to get that video out, I've got to get something out. Yeah, that is such a good comment. I'm building a PC right now without a case. I forgot to buy the case. I've done that with SSDs and sometimes RAM. It's yeah, a very funny thing. Yeah, so anyway, I think that's been about half an hour. I'm just rambling now. I don't think quality over quantity. Yeah, 100% agree with you. And I think that's what I love about the videos that I've been doing, especially like, you know, the little skit where I was a pirate at the front of the torrent box one, and you know, just pulling little skits. I think that shows my warped sense of humor, where like I can just see the whole scene before I even record it. That's what I want to do more of. I want to do more videos where I've got a little skit at the front and it's just me being an idiot on the camera, and yeah, I think that's fun. Hopefully everyone else likes it. I am going to get some sleep. I'm going to wrap it up. If anyone is still watching and they want to help out the channel, following me on Facebook or Instagram is a good start. If you don't have the funds to donate to Patreon, I don't expect anyone to. Sharing videos is a huge help because it gets more of what I'm doing out to more people. I find that's the hard thing. I love making them, but getting it to the right people that want to watch it is the hardest thing. So if you can share videos, that's a fantastic start, and it helps grow this channel just so much more. Why is that offline?